Hello and welcome back. For a second I thought I didn't have enough lights on, but I do in fact have the correct amount of lights on. Forgive me because I am currently eating my breakfast as I work. No, I did not just wake up. I woke up at a pretty normal time, but I did spend like an hour today doing cosplay makeup for fun. So if you're wondering why it took me very long to start the stream and to eat my food, that's why. I don't know if you can even see. I hope you can see it. I think it looks pretty nice. I haven't yet tried out the contacts that I bought, but I'm really excited for that. But yeah, if you're unaware, I've been practicing cosplay makeup and stuff for the past couple days in preparation for the anime convention that's coming up in my city. I'm gonna be doing like way more cosplay stuff than I've normally done, so I'm just practicing a bunch so that it can be really good on the day of. I'm doing like contacts, full makeup, a wig. I already had the costume, but I've never done a wig or contacts or makeup, or false eyelashes. I'm also doing false eyelashes. That's exciting. And I might be doing different shoes. I don't know, like, yeah, a bunch of stuff that I'm trying out. So that's why it took a little longer. If you remember in my last stream, I hinted at maybe starting to stream like every day around midday where I am. I'm a little late for that, but that's just because I was doing cosplay makeup and I wanted to have my breakfast, so you know what, I'm not a big enough streamer to worry about having a good schedule. There's literally 0 viewers right now, so it doesn't even matter. It's so fun. I'm so free. I love it. Anyways, we're here now. Thank you for stopping by. Today we're going to be working on getting this hair. So basically the way XGen hair works is at least this XGen hair. I'll put my anti-aliasing on so you can see it a little better. The way this XGen hair works is that it is basically a bunch of guides, which I can show you if I like turn my density down. You can see there are guides there, right? Those are placed on the head, and then primitives, which are the actual hairs themselves that you're seeing here, are placed like randomly in the area based on the way those guides are placed. So their length and their orientation and the way they curve and stuff. Primitives are placed in that orientation, and then the modifiers are applied to them. But in theory, the primitives aren't like real. They're not really actually primitives. They're not polygons right now. They're just like sort of simulated. They're like previews. And so what we need to do now is work on turning those previews into actual geo, and then exporting that and bringing it into Unreal Engine, and then turning it into something that is manipulatable and usable in the way we want it to be. So the way I'm going to be doing that is I'm planning to turn these all into... I'm thinking like I need to make them into splines and then make them into meshes, or XGen might have a way that I can just turn them directly into meshes, but I'll probably do like tube meshes, or actually more likely I'll do double-sided planes that follow the curve of the spline. And then those planes will be like actual meshes that I export as like an FBX file, which is like a 3D model file, and then that'll go into Unreal Engine along with the head, the face of the person, which is me. If you're wondering, that is my face. The head shape and stuff is a little funky because it's someone else's and not mine, but just ignore that. The face is mine. That's gonna go into Unreal Engine, and then we will be applying Chaos Cloth is my goal in Unreal Engine. That's something that I've done quite a few times before, but it'll be a little different this time around, using some different rules, some different techniques, but I think it'll be very fun. So last time we were fiddling with this yesterday, we added this parting, and I just want to see, just so I can like feel really good about myself, the difference that made. So look at that, actually. That looks so, like, because all that hair is going underneath, but it looks so bald. Meanwhile, if we add our parting back, that is so nice. Like, that just helps so much. Isn't that great? Don't you love that? I love that. I'm really happy with this hair. Okay, I'm scared, but let's get right into it. I'm still having my breakfast, so I'm just gonna take a little sippy of my coffee. I know you didn't come here for mukbang content, but you're getting it anyways. Just, you're gonna have to deal with it. Okay. Let's see if I know what I'm doing. Like, I honestly... Logically, I should have done some looking through this stuff off screen, but I didn't want to, so I haven't. So we're just gonna figure out how to do this. I do remember there being a primitives to mesh sort of like tab or button. So we'll see if I can find that. You know what, so we can turn our primitives into splines and then do a sweep mesh. Which would probably be a really great way to do this, honestly. But how do we turn them into... Oh, yes. Yes. Okay, yes, I remember now. It is a utility. Not a modifier. It's a utility. Okay. So we can do... Wait, we don't want guides as servers, we want primitives. Guides as curves. Curves to guides. Oh, that'd be cool. Okay, this is some cool stuff I could try another time, because I have seen some stuff online about people using, like, people, like, drawing out sort of a mesh shape of, like, what they want their hair to be shaped as, and then I guess they do, like, a surface to curves, or maybe even, like, a surface to guides, if that's a thing you can do. I don't know, but that would be pretty neat. Okay. Curves to guides, copy curves. Scale guide, curvature, straighten guide, surface to curve. Okay, I'm not sure which of these we want. Okay, well, I mean, we can save our scene and then just figure it out. Let's make sure that all of our densities are what we want it as, maybe. Just that they're all uniform. So this is the bottom layer left. It's at 10.5 right now. What if we do it at like 10? Does it look like thick enough? Maybe we want a little bit more. Do we want to do like 15? I like to do even numbers, so maybe I'll make it like 14. I think we might want some more geo on that actually. That's our modifier CV count is not very high. Okay, let's do 14. Do we want to turn up our modifier CV count to like 12? See if that changes so much. Maybe we'll just leave it. Maybe it's okay that it's not very smooth. No, I think I want it smoother, honestly. I just need to turn down my offset, I think. What do you guys think of that? I feel like that's pretty nice. I feel like that's gonna look better in the long run. I mean, like, look at these, they're so high. Like, what is the CV count on those? That's top layer left. Primitives. CV count is 14, but I think those layers are also shorter. Bottom layer left, our CV count is 16, so I feel like that's pretty reasonable. I feel like that's pretty nice. Okay, let's do the same on the other side then. Bottom layer, right. CV count 16. I need a higher density on that. Yeah, let's turn this down so I can see better. Bottom layer right, clumping. Okay, offset. Like it's okay, it just seems a little off. The music is this last soundtrack, by the way. It's really, that's why it's so pretty. Do we have a flatness going on? We don't. You know, I think we just maybe need a little more curl. That helps. I think that's good. I do feel like I want more density, though. 16? Do we have the other one at 16 as well? Bottom layer left? Is that 14? I feel like they don't match. They don't look the same to me. Don't they look different? Top layer left. Let's turn that one down so we can see. Okay, so now bottom layer right, bottom layer left. They're both 16. Okay, maybe they do kind of look the same. From the front, they look different, I feel like. That's okay, though. Okay, so let's turn it all to 16, then, if we like 16. I think I'm just not going to worry about the straight hairs, because I don't really want to. I could always change it later. Like, as long as the pipeline is clean, I can always come back later. Look at these up there. Looks so funny. Okay. Top layer, let's make it 16. Top layer left, 16. Yep, that looks pretty good. Parting right, 16. Parting left, 16. Bangs, 16. How's that? How are you? That's nice. That's nice. Okay, do we want to add some noise before we start working on moving it over? I think we do, because I talked about that in my last stream, that I don't have any noise, so like none of these hairs technically are like frizzing. The only ones that maybe look like flyaways are the ones that are sort of alone in their own clump, just based on like the way the clump maps are generated and where the density map is. Like if they're on the edge of if that like clump guide is on the edge of the density map, then there's not going to be as many primitives to clump with, so then they're going to be alone. So those are the only ones I'm getting that are flyaways, like this one here, which just isn't a lot. Like usually I would have more flyaways than that, so I want to see if I can experiment with a noise, which I guess a noise wouldn't actually create flyaways per se, but it would maybe get some of that sort of more randomness going on. I think that's maybe what we want, unless there's anything else in here that I could work with. Hi! Thank you for coming. Welcome. Okay, so yeah, look at that. We can really see that working. That's just sort of like messing it up a little bit, making it a little bit fun. I don't love how these hairs are going inside the head, but you know, we'll work with it. We'll make it work. I could definitely edit that with our guides, and then I guess if gravity is applied to it, it's gonna fall against the head anyways. We're gonna see. We'll see. We'll see. Actually, ooh, that'll be really. Okay, I'm just thinking about. Oh, I'm so excited for Chaos Cloth. I love Chaos Cloth, and just messing around with it is gonna be really fun. So I think I will edit my guides so that it's not going inside the skull, but not right this very second. I don't know. Maybe I'm happy with the noise as is. Even like just that. That feels like a good amount. But I mean, like, what changes if I change something? Interesting. Spine. Ooh. Very curious. I don't know, just add a little something to it, you know? Do we want our roots kind of smooth? Like, doesn't change too much. Okay, so this is the amount of effect to apply, so I'm just gonna turn that up because that just gives me more, like, usability. Love it. Love it. Honestly, I feel like it doesn't really matter too much. Just like having it in general was helpful. Okay. Ooh, I see. That's the real changer. Okay, very cool, very cool. It's honestly really nice. I think that's really helpful. That's great. I love it. That's awesome. Okay, so it's sort of a plateau look is what we have going on there with the magnitude of 3. I'm just remembering that so I can even like save it and then just apply it to the other ones. I might do that. You doing more of that cosplay makeup looks good right now. Thank you. Yes, I am. Here, I'll give you a little close up. I don't know how much you can see, but I don't know if I look stupid right now, if I'm trying to show it off. I don't know. I'm really proud. I think I did a really good job. I just wish I had a better camera so I could see it more, but it's okay. It's not a big deal. It's whatever. But yeah. Yes, I did do more. Massive slay. Thank you. Yeah, I'm really happy with it. I'm not wearing any false eyelashes or anything just because I don't want to use them over and over again and then like get glue all over my eyelashes and just like wreck them when I kind of want to reuse them. So while it is good to practice placing them, like I don't want to be overdoing it. Meanwhile, I've got lots of makeup product. I'm not worried about wasting my product. So yes, I've got like bronzer in my cheek hollows. I've got blush on my nose a little bit, and then everything going on in my eyes. I did like a whole concealer thing. I did a cut crease. Like this really helped for the cosplay makeup look was the shadow inside this corner of my eye. And then doing the cut crease. I'm very happy with that. I think it looks really nice. And then I finally managed to get the under eye shading that like enlarges the look of the size of the eye, and I'm very happy with that. I finally got it. Turns out I was shading it totally wrong. I just looked it up on Pinterest, and I'm really happy with the way it looks. So yeah, I'm really feeling it. The eyes were the first thing I noticed. Thank you. The eyes is like really mostly the only thing I did. I didn't really do much else, but I did do a little bit of bronzing over here. Going to a concert tonight, so I'm looking forward to that. It's gonna be fun. Okay, so I'm actually gonna do that thing that I just mentioned, where I'm gonna so noise. I'm gonna save modifier. Noise one, if I'm remembering how to do this correctly. And then I can pop into my other descriptions. Let's start with parting right. And then yeah, and we do load user. And then it's just the exact same one. And look at how much that does. Like that's so cool. And I might turn this one down a little bit. So it's a little smoother. I might do the same to the bangs, actually. Was that 2? Yeah. Because I still want it to look pretty. Whoa. What is the whoa to? Is it still about the makeup or is it about the hair? Because the hair is pretty cool, huh? Parting left. Let's do load user. Save modifier. I'm gonna overwrite that one since I'm doing it. So I'm gonna replace it. Goes to the concert, but also I've been willing at everything. Appreciate it. Okay. Top layer. Same thing again. Load user. Noise. Beep. Just gives us less work to do. Isn't that great? Just adding a little something to it. Love it. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. I love it. I'm so excited. Top layer, left. Load user, noise. Also, as frequent viewers will know, I do go to the gym, and I was there yesterday doing leg day. And I will have you know, I finally like made it a point. I always stretch, but I made a point of like doing a whole stretch routine. Like after I lifted my weights, I filled up my water, I went straight to the mat. I did a whole stretch routine, specifically around my legs. I did like world's greatest stretches, which is the one where you have your like your lower leg, like your calf, like tucked underneath your stomach with your like if it's your right leg, you have your foot facing over here. I know I'm not mirrored. I don't know if you guys. Okay, whatever. Foot here and knee here, and then it's like against your chest, and you like lean on your leg with your other leg pointing out backwards. Just Google world's greatest stretch. I'm pretty sure that's the one I'm talking about. That one stretches the shit out of your glutes and your hamstrings. I stretched glutes and hamstrings. Yes, and I stretched my quads, stretched my calves. I did it all, and I'll have you know, even though I went crazy on the reps yesterday and the sets, you know, all of the fitness terms, I do not feel sore today, at least not extremely. My lower back is sore, but that could be a posture thing, or it could be a deadlift thing, who knows, but it's only a little bit, and also it might be on my period. But I'll have you know, I'm not feeling the normal soreness that I've been feeling for the past couple days in my pecs and my lats from the other workouts that I've had where I didn't really stretch properly afterwards. So I just want the world to know that I had a problem, I did something about it, and I'm better off for it. So I'm a grown-up. I'm a grown-up. Thank you. Okay, bottom layer left. Let's add that modifier. Okay, nice. I like to look at it after I add it just to make sure that it's doing something that's actually worthwhile and like working the way that I want it to. Yeah, which this one is. Actually, on this one, I'm gonna quickly generate a new map because I'm not loving this one. I think that's better. Could do another one. Oh, that's better. That's a better one. Yeah. And it might be worthwhile to like increase the density map so it has more sort of weight here. Like just let it grow some more hairs in this area. But right now I don't want to, so I'm not going to. Okay. Bottom layer right. Noise. There we go. Turn it off and on. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I love it. Okay, do we all have this now? Bangs. Parting left. Parting right. Top layer left. Yes, we all have a noise. It's so beautiful. Yay! Woo! Okay. Alrighty, let's do that thing with our primitives. I don't know if this will matter when we like translate our primitives into mesh, but I just want to do it now just in case. The width ramp, I want to have that set up. So you can see our top layer left has a width ramp, so if we look at the ends of our hair, it's coming to a point the way I have told it to. And it's hard to see at the root because we have our parting covering, but you can see some of these hairs that are at the root. See, they're coming to a point there. So we want to apply that to everything. So I'm going to do that, and I don't know any other way other than doing it manually because, like, this is a different thing. Like, I don't see a way to save that, like, as a map or anything. Like, save the graph, so I'm just going to apply it manually. It's basically just a plateau up high and then, like, smaller ones on the sides. So, parting left, let's do... No. There you go, start small. I don't like it starting too small because then they look like really pin-like, you know? Or you could just have it start really small and then get big like right away, if that helps. Just don't like them looking too pokey, you know? Let's turn down our top layer left so I can actually see what I'm doing. Okay, you. That'll be good. That's very nice. I like that. That's good. Okay. Top layer left, turn you back up to 16 we were doing for all of them. Okay, let's do the same thing again. Oh, where's my... There we go. Went away for a second there, I got scared. Okay, let's apply the same dealio to you, my friend. Oh, that's parting left, parting right. Bring you down at the beginning, bring you down at the end, bring you up, and just up a little bit more in the middle there. What's that? Let's do a little bit thicker at the beginning. That's pretty nice, that's pretty nice. Pretty happy, pretty happy. Yep, very good, very good. Yep. Okay. Happy, happy, happy. Happy, happy, happy. Hee yeah, it does thin it out a little bit here, but like that's just how that works, and like that's how hair works. Are we gonna be mad at it? No, that's how it works. So it's good. Top layer, moved. You all have that. Bottom layer, right. Okay, great. We all have a width ramp. Let's edit our bangs width ramp though. That's pretty nice. Okay, and then let's do the thing we said about the guides on the bangs, I think. Yeah, just getting them out of the skull. Let's turn this down. I think they're visible enough. Pop open our bangs, grab our guides. I think it's just a matter of, let's go into guide control points. Let's use the move tool, and we'll just maybe do this. I think that's all we really need. You're pretty close. I really love that Maya has these like squares that let you, so for this one, like I'm moving along the Y and Z axis, and then it's locking me on the X axis, so it's not changing at all. It's really useful. It's surprising if you start with 3D art in Maya, it's surprising how many programs don't have that equivalent, like ZBrush doesn't have anything like that at all, for example. And I remember when I asked one of my 3D instructors, like, oh, does ZBrush have this? Like, how do I do this in ZBrush? I just thought it was a given that it would have it. They were like, you can't do that. Like, as if it was like, they sort of responded as if it was like a silly question, and I was like, why is that silly? Like, it's so useful in Maya, I use it all the time. But I mean, I don't think everybody uses it. Like, some people just don't really work like that. I know a lot of 3D artists where like, even if they're doing hard surface stuff, even if they're doing like really math heavy, like really exact sort of stuff, they'll still be grabbing things and just using the square and just moving it all over. And I'm like, what? That's so crazy. You're not locking things to your axes, to your axes. Like, it's so foreign to me, because when I learned 3D art, I started in Maya, and it was, you know, and I was using that tool a lot, and it seemed really, really helpful and essential to me. But, you know, just goes to show how different everybody is. It's really cool. I like it. I'm actually going to, where are you? You're over here. I don't want you to be over there. I'm gonna turn these down so I can see better. This is really funny to me every time. Yeah, you are poking way in, which you don't need to be. So we're gonna pull you out. Straighten that out a bit. Yeah. That's gonna help, I think. Because look how nicely that one's flowing, and then this one's flowing a little nicer now as well. Okay, and then if we, oh, not you. Bangs. Is that better? You know what? I reckon that's pretty good. I think that's good enough. Okay, let's turn you up to 16. Top layer. 16. Yeah. There we go. Just gonna maybe bring you down a little bit. Oh, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong layer. 16 bangs. Just don't love how much it's like sort of coming out there. It's a little bit better there. Let's see. Let's grab these. Yep. Better? Oh, I reckon that's better. Lovely. I love just being like, oh, it's fine, I'm done with it now. Okay, that's fine, I'm done with it now. Okay, that's fine, I'm done with it now. And just I keep saying I'm gonna stop touching it, and I just keep touching it, because I'm never satisfied. I'm gonna eat more bagel now. Okay. Is it finally time? Okay, let's save. Now I just have to figure this out. So I was under the impression that the hairs themselves are called primitives, and I want to turn those into curves so I can use curves to make a sweep mesh. But I think they might also be calling them curves or something. Like, I'm not really sure. Like, if I do guides to curves, am I gonna get the curves that I want? I'm not sure. Because I'm not seeing, like, a primitive to curve situation. Yeah, okay, so let's try, let's try that. No, I feel like that's not what I want. Guides as curves or turn guides into curves. Okay. Sure. Convert the selected guides to curves. That's gonna turn the guides. Whatever. Let's try it. It's probably saying I need to select ones. No guide select, yeah. Okay, so I'm assuming I have to be in the right description and then select them and then do... Yeah, so that just creates some curves for us. Which is not what I want. And like I knew that's what I would do, but I just had to be sure. So maybe curves to guides is what I need then. Like, let's try. No NURBS curves are selected to convert to... No, okay, that's if I already have curves in this scene and I want to turn them into guides, which is not what I want either. Okay, let's Google it. My XGen primitives into mesh. Primitives into mesh. Yeah. That's what we want. Like, is there a tab for that? Mesh. Oh, isn't there like a... Edit mesh. Oh yeah, modify, convert. Okay. Convert XGen. Ooh, I found it. Combine mesh. I don't think I want that, actually. Use width ramp. Yes, because I did edit my width ramp to be the way I want it to be. Insert spans along width. What does that mean? Do you tell me what it means? Turn on to increase the resolution of the polygon mesh by adding spans to the mesh width. Nah. Single span along their width. That would mean that they're a plane, I believe. That's fine. I think planes is fine. It might end up looking kind of thin, but we can see what we can do. We can work with that. We'll figure it out. Okay. So we're not gonna insert spans. We could. We're not going to. That's probably fine. Create joints on strips. Tell us what that means. For animated or simulated hair and fur, turn on to create joint chains. Oh, right, like an actual skeleton. No, I don't need that. Thank you very much. That's lovely of you to offer, but I'm okay, thank you. Yeah, no, I do not need that. That would create an incredible amount of stuff. Okay, so I believe this would apply it and close the window, and this would apply it and leave it open. We have saved. Let's save again. So this is probably gonna take a while. Oh, it's done. Never mind. What have we got? Oh, look at that! Oh, it's so pretty! Oh my gosh. Okay, let's isolate this so I can see it. Oh my word, that's great! I love it, and it's just a plane. Oh, that's wonderful, and I love how it orients the faces outward. That's lovely that it knows to do that. Oh, mostly. It's from the backside. Kind of. I bet it's camera based. I bet it's based on where my camera's facing when I do it. Because they're all facing towards the camera. So I don't love that. That makes me wonder if I should increase the number of spans. Which I believe would make it like a triangle. Yeah, it must be camera based because they're all totally facing towards the camera. Because if I look this way, like I'm seeing all of my like reverse sides. These are all my like reverse normals. Which wouldn't be good because then in the renderer, I guess I would just make them double-sided in the renderer. Of course I'd want them to be double-sided. That's way easier. I'm pretty sure a double-sided mesh is way easier on the renderer than having more faces. Because we'd end up having 3 times the amount of faces if we made them all triangular tubes. That'd be like 3 times the amount of geo. And we can just make it double-sided, which I feel like double-sided is going to be better. If you look at things from the side, they're going to end up being invisible, if you look at them just right. But we're going to work with it, because I feel like it's the right decision, and we're going to find out if I'm right. That looks so pretty, and I'm really happy with it. And it is all in one big group, with many, many poly surfaces inside. Should I have combined it? I think so, because I didn't realize that it would only do it in just this one description. I kind of thought I was going to do it to the whole head because I didn't check convert only selected primitives, but I guess it just works with whichever description is selected in the My XGen window. So I think I'm going to undo that and do it again. Same way, but just combine mesh, because I don't need these all to be separate. Like, I want the whole bang situation to sort of move as one, I think. Is that what I want? I'm thinking about it. I think that's what I want. I think that's how I'm going to do it. And if it's not how I'm going to do it, what I could do is I could combine them into clumps. Like I could try and grab one clump at a time. That'd be kind of fun, but with my plan for how I'm planning to do it in Unreal, that would be kind of unnecessary. So I think maybe I'll do a combine. I could do it in separate pieces. I can always separate it out. And it would end up with the same result anyways. So it would be nice to have them simulate separately. Maybe I'll start with them simulating all together. as one piece. And then if I want to add complexity, I'll worry about that later. That seems like a good idea to me. Okay, so let's undo. I'm just very carefully undoing so I don't crash Maya. Okay, is it just me or can I not undo this? That's fine. I guess I can just delete them. Cool. Let's try it again. Apply. It just does it instantly. It doesn't take any time at all. And then that is just one poly surface in there. Same dealio. Turn this off. I don't really need that. Well, it is easier to see, I guess. Oh, you know what? Actually, maybe I'm gonna do it again, just so they're definitely camera facing, or am I not? I might maybe not go do that. It's okay. Cause I think I did it when the camera's facing like kind of over here instead. But that's probably... No, I do want to do it again. I am going to do it again. You know what? I am going to do it again. Yeah. Just so it looks as best as it possibly can from the front, I think is probably ideal. Okay, so let's work with that. I'm happy with this so far. Okay, very scary, very scary. Increment and save, increment and save. Okay, make you uninvisible. Let's grab bottom layer right. I should probably just do them in order. Bottom layer left. Amazing. I'm just checking my hierarchy here to make sure everything is looking okay so far. Just trying to be very careful about all this so I don't make any mistakes. Oh my goodness, look at that, it's Geo. You can't even tell what's going on. Double-sided, there is definitely a way display. Rendering. Polygons, back face. Face normals. I don't know what that changed. Okay, show. It's fine. I don't think it really matters. It'd be nice if the normals looked normal. That's a funny thing to say. But it's really not a big deal. Like, I can still tell what's going on well enough. Just would be nice to be able to see them. So this is what I'm talking about, how like when you look at the planes from the side, they get really invisible. Which might be a little concerning for our part since it's going to look bald from up here. That's good to know. Okay, so let's do that again then. Let's, instead of looking at everything from the front, let's look at it from an angle that is most advantageous to it. That makes more sense. Let's do that instead. So let's grab our partings and let's delete them both. Let's exit isolate mode. Let's grab parting left. I'm gonna face it sort of from the front, not quite from the top, I think. I think maybe just sort of like here, and that might be good. And then let's try that. And let's do the same thing with this one. Alright, and apply. And then let's grab these and go into isolate mode and look at it. Like that looks... See, it's gonna look a little wispy from the side, and I think that's okay. It looks way better from the top. That's great. That's super good. It's way better. Okay, let's do the same thing with the other layers. Let's do top layer, which is our top layer right. Let's delete it. Let's exit isolate mode. Let's grab our top layer. Let's apply. Let's, I'll just do the same thing now for the other side. I'm looking at it like kind of from the front, kind of from the side, because I feel like it's going to give us the best sort of look. It might make the back look kind of, no, I think it'll be okay. Because again, we're not worried about looking at it from behind the normals. We're just worried about looking at it from the side. From the side is where it's going to look bad, not from behind, because as long as it's double-sided, it'll be okay. So let's grab our top layer, left, convert. Convert sounds weird. It's really religious sounding. Convert. But it's an object. It's a noun. Convert. Top layer, left, whatever. Top layer, left, and apply that. The music is so scary right now. It's Celeste. It'd be like that. Okay, I feel like that's looking better. And everything that's black is going to be visible. It does like a little bald back here, because that's where we're getting the looks from the sides. So I don't know if we're going to worry about that right now. Feeling like I'm not going to worry about that right now. Okay, so for the bottom layers, we want them to look good from the front, and from the side, and from the back. So where do they not need to look good from? I guess from sort of this angle they don't need to look good. Probably, because that's where the neck is gonna be. Like, that's the only thing I can think of. So I guess let's look at them from here. It's the best I can think of. Let's go bottom layer. This music is really scary right now, dude. It's very intense. But I don't want to turn it off because it's, like, good. And it's, like, important. It's like a good scene from the game. And, like, I want to appreciate the good music. But it's kind of freaking me out a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, let's try doing that same thing for this side. I think this is a good angle. Okay, we already deleted that one, so bottom layer left. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. The only place we're really getting baldness is viewing it just the right angle right here. It's kind of uggo. Should we work with it and see what we can do? I think maybe we should work with it and see what we can do. I think we should just work with it and see what we can do. I mean, like, I don't know if this is a worst case scenario, but worst case scenario, we just make them triangular tubes instead of single faces. Or, you know, add more layers. You know, like maybe I do that twice. If I don't want to triple the amount of geo I have, but double the amount of rendering sides, I could just convert those again and do like a copy of it from a different angle. That could work. Anyways, regardless, it looks really good from like these important angles. Which these are the most important angles rather than the back. Like the back is where it doesn't look good. It's like this angle, this angle, this angle. But those are the ones you're gonna see the least. Like it's like front and 3/4 and maybe profile are like the most important. So let's work with this for now. I'm gonna do an increment and save. I love that I was able to do that all in isolate mode as well. That was really cool. And I love that when you're in isolate mode, anything that you make that's new gets added to your isolate mode. It's very cool. Isolate mode in Maya is not perfect. Like there's a lot of things about it that I wish were different, but it is very cool how it works. It's not the best, but it's like 80% there. Okay, so you guys, oh my goodness, we have mesh hair. Holy shit, that means we're like basically ready to put it in Unreal Engine almost. Like in theory I could do it right now. It just would maybe be really hard on the engine to simulate all these hairs. It would look really weird. They'd all straighten out and they'd be bumping against each other. It'd be really ugly. Okay, I'm not gonna do it right now. I'm gonna add another thing. So let me explain for a second. So if let's grab all these and let's grab our head. Nope, not you. Head, and let's put that in isolate. So this is our geo, right? Wow, that's really cool looking. Ooh, I'm gonna take a screenshot of this. This is cool. This looks really neat. This song has whispering in it, and it's freaking me out. Stop whispering. I don't like it. grab a screenshot of this just real quick, because this is a cool screenshot. I'm gonna skip this song. It's freaking me out like a lot. Let's not have that anymore, please. Thank you. Great song, but creepy. That's cool shit. Okay. So this is our geo. We have a head. Turn the wireframe on so you can see the geo. We have a head, and we have a bunch of little hairs, and they are in groups, and they are combined. So like, you know, this this thing here is all considered like one mesh. It is technically combined, but the mesh itself, the geometry, is not all connected. It is all separate. So like if in Maya, this has this cool feature that most 3D programs have. If I go into face mode and I double click, it's gonna only select all of those faces that are actually welded together, that are actually connected, like glue, right? So it's just gonna find that one strand, which is pretty neat. It's pretty neat that I can do that. Look at how beautiful it looks. I'm so proud of my little hair. So that's how that works. So they are combined, but they are still separate, right? So in Unreal Engine, if I brought this into Unreal Engine and I said, hey Unreal, this face, this is like a solid mesh. This is a solid object. This does not act like fabric. You know, this acts like an object, like a rock, right? It's static. And then I say, hey Unreal, this hair, this is how Chaos Cloth works, this hair is going to act like cloth. It's going to fall and hang and yank on itself with gravity, right? So like it's made for cloth physics, right? So if I have this little drawing glove here that I have, it would, and I just tell it like, hey, this is cloth, then by default, if the whole thing is cloth, it's just going to go like this. It's just going to fall. And it fell off my hand. It's just going to fall. So what you do in Unreal Engine, if you want this part up here to stay where it is, and you want gravity to not affect this because it's attached to something, you say, hey, everything down here is cloth. This up here isn't cloth, but everything down here is cloth. So do that, and then it's going to hang like this, right? Because this is all one piece of geo, so it's all going to stay attached to itself. It's not going to fall apart. If all of the faces that make up this glove were disconnected, they just fall apart into pieces, into squares. Right? It'd be very, very bad. Because the cloth is simulated based on the way the geometry is constructed. If the faces are not welded together, then they will fall apart. If there's no glue, it's going to fall apart, right? Sort of picture like, I feel like there's plenty of games in which you can like build something without using physics, like sort of like Minecraft creative mode, just like place things together, and then press a simulate button. Then once you press that simulate button, suddenly they're also like sort of jumping around and jostling together with all the gravity and the physics that it's being programmed on it, and they're falling apart because they're not glued together, because they're not one mesh. That's the way that works in Unreal Engine as well. That's just the way physics simulation works in general. Like if it's not welded together, it's not stuck together, it's not going to happen. So what we'd end up seeing is that if we have collision on all of these strands of hair, so first of all, they're all going to fall straight, because all their faces are glued together, but the faces can't move because they're static. Because like unless they had joints to tell them like to move their vertices around, the faces are like solid, like squares of plastic, or like wood or something. They're hard. They're not going to move. The faces, but the other things they're attached to are going to move. I mean, I guess there's other things you could change in the settings to make the faces move, but regardless, that's not important. The faces are pretty static, and they're gonna. But each vertex is like, it's like a joint, right, with cloth physics, right? So they're all going to fall down because there's nothing keeping them curled. They're all going to straighten out. They're going to fall. And if there's collision on them, they're going to bump into each other. And collision physics is not very good. It is really hard to make it good. It rarely is very good. It messes up in video games. It messes up and it doesn't know how to fix itself. So you see in video games a lot of the time, if two things that are supposed to have collision overlap, then they get stuck together like this, because now they're like, somehow they got past each other, and now they're like, oh, but we're supposed to collide, so now they're stuck together. That's how you get ugly stuff like that happening all the time. So with all these strands of hair, because there's so many of them, that would be happening, especially with the fact that they're single-sided. Like, shit gets weird with the normals, right? You have a normal facing out this way, then things are going to happen differently with things that are facing that way. That's just how it works. So you have all these hairs, they're not going to stay straight, they're going to hang, or they're not going to stay curled, they're going to hang straight. They're going to collide with each other, and they're going to get stuck. And they're going to all jostle around and get confused and be like, oh, but we're not supposed to be stuck together, but we're supposed to be colliding, but we're not supposed to be stuck together. And it's this sort of double entendre, if that's the correct use of that word, I'm not sure, but it's this unfixable issue where they're all jostling and bumping and stuck. It's going to be ugly and terrible. So how do you fix that? Well, you don't want all the strands to act individually on their own volition. You don't want them to just hang like they're their own thing, because that's what's causing that, right? Is they're all trying to bump together with each other because they're like, I'm my own thing, I am a strand, I'm doing my job, why aren't you doing your job properly? Now we're stuck. You want them to all act as one collective. How do you do that? Okay, so what you do in Unreal Engine is you create what people in my field, or like in my classroom where I learned, like, oopsie daisy, we would generally call it a proxy mesh. So let me do that again. Let me make this visible again. Beep, 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 beep. I didn't need to do that time. So we have a proxy mesh, and we call it that because a proxy is generally a word that means something that replaces something else, like a stand-in, right? That's what that word generally means. So a proxy mesh would be, for example, like a plane that has like a couple faces up here, and then a couple faces here, and it falls over here, sort of in the general shape of where that layer of hair, where that description that I made, where that is, right? It would be a mesh that hangs sort of in the general same area, right? And the same size, the same sort of shape, right? And it would just have as much geo as I need it to be, as I need it to have in order to flex as much as I want it to be. So if it's like really low geo, really low poly, it's gonna bend like this. But if it's really high poly, it's gonna bend like this, right? Because it's got more joints in it, right? So just be as dense as I need it to be in order to flow properly. We'd put it in the same general area. We'd go into Unreal Engine. We'd say, hey, once I've said, hey, all of this hair is cloth, let me know. I'm just going to tell you this hair is cloth. Okay, good. Now you know this hair is cloth. I'm going to grab this proxy mesh. I'm going to say, oh, this is also cloth, by the way. And then I'm going to go back into my hair, and I'm going to say, oh, by the way, when you're simulating cloth on this hair, don't use the hair to simulate cloth. Use the proxy mesh to simulate cloth. So then the hair is like, okay, I am cloth, but I am not my own cloth. I am this cloth, and I'm going to pretend that I am this cloth, and I'm going to act like I'm that cloth. And so what you basically end up having is it's as if this sheet of hair is trying to imitate the proxy mesh, or it's as if this sheet of hair is like sewn on to the proxy mesh, and it's doing what the proxy mesh does. But then you can make the proxy mesh invisible, and suddenly all that hair is acting as one. It's great. It's like I don't know, freaking body surfing. It's like you're pretending to be a surfboard when you're not. I don't know how body surfing works. I don't know if that explained it well, but it's really cool. And then the hairs end up, instead of going like, I'm doing my job, you're not doing your job, we're all trying to be our own thing here and do our, but like it's so confusing because there's so many different people talking all at once. Blah, blah, blah. They end up going, oh no, we're actually all one piece, and we're not even ourselves. Like we're a different piece of something else, you know? And they just act as one collective. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Which is why I was discussing, like, should I have these all as one mesh, or should I have them separate? Because if they're separate, then I could maybe, say, for example, grab these bangs and grab, like, this coil and this coil and this coil and make them all one chunk. And then have one proxy mesh over here, right here in this section for that. And then grab, like, this one and, like, this coil, this coil, this coil, whatever. And then make that all one chunk and then have one proxy for that. And then one proxy for these ones over here. And then they would all move as if they're 3 separate squares. You know, and then you'd have like the layers going on, which would be really cool. And it's definitely possible to do, and I'll definitely think about it. But I think I'm going to start simple, as this the bangs all being one thing, make one proxy mesh to fill up this whole area, and then the bangs are all going to hang as if they're one thing. So when the bangs hang, you're not going to see any of this. You're not going to see this, right? It's all going to act as one. They're going to go like this. If they're waving in the wind, they're going to wave like this, right? As if they're all one thing. Which you've probably seen that in games before, and it looks a little bit like, huh. That's not very realistic, but it looks pretty good. It looks okay. It looks better than the hair hanging and not moving at all. It looks better than the hair hanging and fighting with each other and making your whole system crash because there's so many physics trying to simulate all at once. It's better than both of those things. So it's a good starting point. So I'm planning on starting there. So let's do that. So that's why I think I'm going to make my proxy mesh before I go into Unreal Engine, because I don't want to crash my system with horrible physics, and I just don't want to have to be popping back in and out of Maya. I use a laptop. It's a very beefy laptop, but we don't need to be going back and forth all the time. So let's do that first. So I'm so happy this is working so far. And let's keep that ball rolling. I think I'm actually just gonna... Can I just hide this whole thing? Nice. I've just hidden my entire freaking XGen hierarchy. That's great. I love it. So yeah, I think what I'll do is, okay, first of all, first question, parting left, top layer left. If I isolate these, Should this all be one piece? I feel like this should all be one piece. I don't think they need to be separate. I don't think we need to have the part moving on its own. I think that should all be one piece. So let's try that. Okay, now it's just gonna be a matter of making a piece of geometry that encompasses these properly. And the way it's gonna work in Unreal Engine Chaos Cloth when we tell this mesh to simulate as if it's another mesh is it's just gonna grab the area of the mesh that's like each vertex is gonna say, ooh, where is the mesh that I'm imitating? Where is it? Like, let's grab the closest point to me, and I'm gonna pretend that I'm that. So what's great about that is that if we don't have any geo over here to simulate, this area is just gonna pretend that it's the closest area it can. So it's not gonna go crazy. It just might look ugly. Right? So it's not going to stop working, it's just not going to be very good. Which I love that. I love when tools programmers make things that, if anything goes wrong, it's just bad, instead of not doing anything. Because then you can see that it's bad and you can fix it, instead of being like, what am I not doing? But yeah, that's a nuanced issue. I'm not getting mad at any tools programmers here. You're all gods and goddesses in my eyes. You're perfect. Because I don't want to do your job. Okay, so let's make our proxy mesh and try and have it encompass that whole area as much as we possibly can. I can finally go back into my custom shelf. It's been so long. I've missed you, old friend. Ugh, who doesn't love their Maya custom shelf? A Maya custom shelf that's truly man's best friend. Also, I'm feeling a music change. This is great, but I kind of want to do some Stardew Valley maybe. Pop in. Let's shovel. Nice. Excellent. I'm gonna change the now playing thing to say that. Whoop. Stardew Valley OST. Beautiful. How's that? I hope that updated on your end. It's updated on my end, so. Okay! Amazing! Yeah, woo! Okay. Should I do... I'll do a rectangle. Or a square. Or whatever you want to call it. Incremented saving already. Oh, it's been so long since I've actually done 3D modeling. Oh, because I've just been doing hair for so freaking long. Oh. Sorry, that's probably really annoying. This is probably like a goofy ass way to do this. It's probably a very goofy ass way to do this, honestly. I don't even care though, like who cares? I'm gonna do this however I want to. It's been a long ass time. Like I said, it's been a long ass time since I've done 3D modeling, so it might take a second before I'm really good at it again. Not that I was ever really good at it. Well, no, hold on. We don't need to be humble. We should not be humble. We should be like very proud of ourselves for how good we are at stuff. So in that case, I'm super good at 3D modeling. Why did I show my teeth at you? I'm so sorry. I'm not a dog. Okay. Yes, I like this. This feels like a good method. And if you're wondering, when I grab one of these like gizmo tools, or like manipulators or whatever they're called, to move it around, after I do that, I can just middle click, and it'll use whichever one I previously used, and that's why I'm working so quickly. If you're ever wondering, if you're ever noticing me doing that, that's how I'm making that happen. It's very useful. I'm gonna pop that right in the middle there, and I'm gonna. Okay, no, there we go. And I think I'm probably gonna want my cloth. No, I almost said something that was wrong. Also need to leave now, unfortunately, but good luck with the rest of the Maya session. Thank you! Thank you for stopping by and watching. Have a good day. I was about to say something incorrect, so I'm gonna correct myself. I was about to say I want my cloth to be in the middle of my sheet of hair so that it's like most accurate. It's actually not true. I think I want my cloth, my sheet of cloth, to be on the inside because, well, I guess I can just turn my collision size up, but that's fine. So, I want it to be on the inside because it's going to collide with the head, and if it's on the inside and it collides with the head, that means the hair is going to stay away from the head and not collide with it. And then the other thing I was saying with I can just turn my collision size up, that's a true thing. Like you can have, I could put a capsule on the head and then make the capsule a little bit bigger. I think that end up being the least accurate option, though. I think it's better if the collision on the hair is accurate to where I want it to collide, and then the same thing for the face, and then it's not colliding with itself, rather than putting it inside the hair further away and then trying to make the collision on the head outside. That's gonna be bad in the long run, I reckon. I think it'll be better if we just try and keep it as accurate to what we actually want going forward, and that'll be like the most future-proof, I think. If anyone else were to work on this, I think that'd be easiest to understand. Okay, going okay so far. I wonder if maybe... No. Okay, I'm actually going to... So what we have going on here is that we have this layer that's sort of connected up here and then falls down on the side. And then we have this one little extra bit here to blend with the back. I think what I'll do is I'll act as if this whole top area is curving around, even though there isn't really much going on there, because it'll just be helpful information and it's not going to get in the way of anything. Yeah. Sort of like that, I reckon. Okay, let's do that. And once again, I'm aware this might not be the most efficient way to create this piece of geo. I am aware there is like a guides to surfaces. I believe it's probably on the screen right now. There's guides to surfaces. That exists. I just want to do it myself so that I know that I'm really like hands-on with it, so I'm aware of everything that's happening in the process, and I know that it's under my full control. And so nothing is like foreign to me, like, oh, why did that end up there? Because like a button made it instead of me making it. Like I want to really make sure that I know what's happening in this with this geo here. So that's why I'm not using that right now. That's my thought process. Ugh, sometimes my accents are terrible. Honestly. Not always though. Sometimes they're good. Sometimes. Bum, 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 bum. So, and I'm using my multi-cut tool, and I'm just pressing and holding control to put in a whole edge loop instead of using this tool, because I just find it's more usable. So pressing and holding control, and then while I'm holding control, I can middle click to just place it directly in the middle. It's pretty useful. But I can also just eyeball it if I want to. Either way, it's up to me. And there is also a thing I can select in my tool settings to have the when I place it, to have it follow the general existing curve of the mesh. That is a thing I can do if you're worried about like, oh, but like with this one you can press and hold shift and then it follows the curve of the mesh. Don't worry, that is something you can do in your tool settings in order to make that happen. So I'll show you. So I have my multi-cut tool selected, edge flow. If you turn on edge flow, press and hold control, place it, and then it follows the curve. Isn't that lovely? And that way you're able to place a curve directly in the middle, place an edge loop directly in the middle of the geo, but also have it continue to follow the curve. So it's very, very nice to have. I think I like that a great deal. I reckon. So this is probably going more like this, huh? More curve here, probably. So let's, yeah, probably more like that. And there is a smooth tool in Maya that you can use. Like, there is a thing where you can literally just smooth, if that's something you're concerned about. That's pretty good. And again, I'm just adding as much geo as I think I need in order to have the hair fall in the way that I want it to. This geo is just about physics. That's what this is about. This is just about physics. I should really compare this to the head. Let's grab our head, let's grab our geo, let's grab our parting left, top layer left. Yeah, because this is not hitting the head the way we want it to. I think that's our next step, is have it hit the head better. So let's grab our head and our cube that we're working with. I'm going to increment and save right now. I'm going to turn on... you can see my mouth bag and everything. I always call this ghost mode. It's called X-ray. I just find it helpful for things like this when I want to see what's happening inside of a mesh. Grab that. I'm already in vertex mode. That's great. I'm gonna grab this vertex and pull it up to there. Pull you up, pull you up. Yeah, and again, we're just allowing this to wrap around the head like that. I think that's gonna be what we want in the long run. So it'll fall nicely over all of the head surface area that it's connected to. I should be quad drawing this. Oh, that's a cool idea. I should be quad drawing this. I don't really want to right now, because I like how this is going, but I should. Okay, in a second I'll pop out quadra. Another thing I can do that I really enjoy is if I'm in move mode and I press and hold control and middle click, I can drag it along the normals, and this works for faces and edges and vertices. It'll move them along their normals. So vertexes have normals, right? It's sort of average based on the face normals. So we've got a face here, face here, face here. We got a vertex here. It's normal. The vertex is like in the middle of the faces, right? It's normal is facing out. And so then when you use that like slide along normals thing, it's gonna only move in this direction, which is really cool. So that's a good way to basically, it's like an inflate sort of situation. If you use ZBrush and you like inflating things, that's what that is it's moving things along their normals. Isn't that neat? I think that's pretty neat, Professor Annie. You're welcome, student. Let's grab all these. I'm just probably not gonna worry about collision on the ear, honestly. I'm probably just gonna let the hair overlap with the ear. I think that's gonna be good. What do we think of that? Do we like it? So I do want it a little bit away, but I think you can do that in quadra. Like, I don't need to be avoiding quadra. I don't know. Okay, let's make that visible again. Parting left, top layer left. Oh shoot, we're not in, it's not hidden, we're just in isolate mode. Okay, so let's grab that. I know, I should really be quad drawing this. I'm such a degenerate. Ba, ba, ba. Press B to turn on soft select mode, and that'll like move some of my adjoining vertices a little bit along with the one that I'm moving. It's a very nice feature. I really like it. We definitely want that to align directly up with the part, and we're probably going to add some more geo in there as well. That's pretty nice. I'm gonna press that button to delete that edge. So this is pretty good. I'm just gonna do some little edits. If this proxy geo is nicely lined up with the head to create good collision against it, then I think that'll help our hair stay in place and not like wobble around too much or go kind of crazy. If that makes sense. She's just gonna undo that and I'm just gonna grab this. This does not need to be so very perfect. Like, this is a proxy mesh. Come on, girly. Okay. I have to sneeze. Woo! Bless me. Jeebus. Okay. Alright, let's make our second proxy mesh. Check out how easy that is. Let's save our scene. I'm gonna duplicate it. I'm gonna actually do the good method of not mirroring, but I grouped it, and then the group has frozen transforms. I'm gonna pop into scale Z, or scale X. Ah! I didn't mean to do that. Minus. And then now our normals are not reversed. Never mind. Okay. And then I'm going to pop this open, and I'm gonna delete history on it, and I'm gonna ungroup it. Edit. Ungroup. What you mean, love? There we go. Ta-da! And now it has all like the same transforms as this one, just in case you ever need them. Which like, I'm sure you won't, because this is all from when I made the rectangle. Anyways, let's take a look at that. Wham! Oh, look at her! Isn't she such a pretty little nun or something? Gee whiz. We don't like this. I don't like this up here, though. I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm going to pop some more geo in there. That's fine. That works just fine. And on you, same dealio. That's great. I wonder if we actually might need more geo in here so it's looking nicer when it moves. How's that? That's better. That's probably better. Okay, let's do the same thing on the other one. And I'm just pressing and holding control, and I'm middle clicking to place my edge loops directly in the middle. And I also have edge flow turned on in my tools menu. So that's how that's working so nicely. So, and we shouldn't have them colliding with each other. Ideally, that's what I'm going to have it set up to do. This looks so funny. Ideally, they're not going to collide with each other. They're just going to collide with the head and not even itself. No, not itself. Just with the head. Hopefully. Hopefully these are just going to collide with the head. Do I want more geo in here as well? I don't know. I feel like I don't, actually. I don't even know what accent I'm doing. I swear I'm sometimes better at accents than that. Sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. Okay, now we're going to quad draw. I'm going to be a big girl, and I'm going to quad draw. Do I want to have my bangs visible so that I can see where I should be drawing? I don't think I do, because they're so large and in charge. No, you know what? I do. I'm going to have them on. Probably don't need a wireframe on that. Okay, let's save again. Just saved. I'm gonna turn on live surface, so now my head is live. And then I'm gonna open my quad draw. And I'm not gonna use symmetry because my head isn't symmetrical, and that's just annoying. I'm just gonna do all of the work. Okay. Yes, yes. Let's have it all connect. Let's have it all connect in like a row here, and then have it all come down like that. Okay, so let's do... When I use quad draw, I'm not really a place vertices sort of girly. Usually, I prefer to extrude my edges and my vertices. But sometimes it's just the right decision to make, which I don't love. I don't like having to do it. I prefer to go like this. Wah! And be crazy like that. But, oh well. Ah! I didn't just make too many, did I? Certainly hope not. I really like extruding vertices with Quadra. I find it to be really useful because then I have full control. Like if I'm extruding a vertex from, like, if I've got this going on and I'm extruding this one, that means I have exactly full control in one motion over where that face is going to be, rather than needing to like place a vertex, and then try and get the face to form, or extruding a side out and then needing to edit both of the vertices because it's the way it is. That's just my personal preference, but it's not always applicable. It's just when it is applicable, it's really fun, and I find it very nice and useful and good. Okay, and that's going to be our last one, and then it's going to connect here, and then this is where it turns into cloth. I'm going to have it fall straight down, so not really straight down. Sort of go to that corner like that. Where are these hairs connecting? They're kind of connecting more up here. Perhaps. Oh yeah, this is probably important for me to mention even just for myself because I might not be following this rule very well as of right now. Important thing to remember for Chaos Cloth in Unreal Engine, when these pieces of Geo fall and try to simulate cloth, what they're going to try and do is each face is going to try its hardest to keep an even square shape. So when you make a proxy mesh, you don't want it to be triangulated. No, you don't want it to be triangulated. And you don't want it to be like really funkily shaped like this, and then have like one like over here and then like that, and then like this one's like, you don't want that. You don't want any of that shit. Because it's going to try and fall in squares, which is why what I'm doing right now is maybe a little, like, this is probably not good. So let's maybe see what we can do about editing that a bit. Yeah, let's do it like this, maybe. Just have it curve more. And no, this is not accurate to how the hair works. Like the piece in the haircut itself, like the bangs are pieced in, like they're separated in a triangle shape. But triangles are bad for Chaos Cloth. So we're gonna try and imitate that triangular shape using as square of a form as we can. And I think this method is gonna work. So we're basically having it wrap this way around the head instead of going like this, like in a triangle. We're gonna have it wrap this way around the head instead. Sort of like it's a visor sort of thing, like one of those like flip-up visor things on like a helmet. Like a sci-fi helmet. Sort of like that, I think, is gonna be good for us. And then I'm just gonna add more geo in there. And the more square these all look, the better they're going to behave when we get them into the engine. So you can see these are pretty square looking. Eh? Pretty square?
Pretty square? Yay!
Great, I think that looks really nice. I'm pretty happy with it. So I'm gonna go into face mode and I'm gonna select the whole thing, and I'm gonna go into my move tool. I'm gonna turn off live surface so that it's not trying to stick itself to that surface. And like I said earlier, in my move tool, I'm gonna press and hold Control and middle click to drag out, and it's gonna move those along their normals. And I just want it not stuck to the head. Is basically all I want. I just want it a little bit off of the head. So we're still gonna have it colliding with the head, but I don't want it to start inside of that head. Right there. It's probably a good spot for it to be. So let's see the way that's looking. Let's go back to object mode. Let's grab our head and our little proxy meshes. Look how silly it looks. It looks so silly. Ooh, so silly. Yeah. So one thing I'm noticing that I should probably make sure that I'm considering is the layers of hair. If they're not gonna collide with each other, because I don't want to have mistakes happening, I kind of want them to not collide with each other, just so in case they get through each other and then go, "Ah, let me out, let me out, let me out," as I explained they do before when they go inside. I'm not finishing that sentence. Something I should consider in that case is that if I have a layer underneath and a layer on top, this layer might not have volume because it might not be colliding with the layer underneath, which would be pushing it up. So what I could do then is have this layer be quite snug with the head, so that when it is colliding with the head, when it thinks it's snug, the actual hair that it's causing to simulate is out here, while it's hanging here, so it's colliding, and this hair is going, okay, I'm colliding, but I'm actually over here, so I have some volume. I do think that's kind of what I already have going on. You can see it's quite flush with the head up here, and then it sort of falls straight down, mostly straight down. So I think what I have right now will probably work pretty well. But that's definitely something to keep in mind, because if I turn off isolate mode, you can see this hair is coming out away from this hair. But if I was to edit it more, I might maybe bring this in even more and make it fall even more straightly. It's maybe not something I'll worry about right now, though, because I don't want to become a freakanoid about it. So yeah, that's just something that I'm keeping in mind. Okay, next thing we're going to basically do, I'm going to increment and save again. We're going to basically do what we just did, but with our bottom layers. Why not? Let's soften you so that you look like the others. So pretty, yay, oh my goodness. She looks just like a nun. So pretty, our little nun. Love her. I'm going to do what I just did with the bangs, but this time for our bottom layers, I'm going to start with the left side, because why the heck not? And I'm going to grab my head, I'm going to leave isolate mode, and then go back into isolate mode. Gorgeous. She's gorgeous. You're looking lovely. Okay. And it is also important to consider that when it comes to collision, I'm going to... Scary. My head is going to be a skeletal mesh, not a static mesh in Unreal Engine, so that it can animate, because that's something I'm going to do later. So excited. I'm going to do blend shapes, and then I'm going to animate blend shapes. I love that shit. It's so exciting. But unrelated. So, and then what I'm getting at with that is that we're not going to be using like complex collision where it's actually using the actual mesh shape itself to collide. It's going to be using a physics asset which will have collision capsules in it. So it's not going to be colliding directly with the head geo, which is why I'm not worrying about it colliding with things like the ears. Because if the ears don't have capsules in them, the ears won't have collision. Pretty cool. So yeah, so I just have to worry about basically where I'm imagining I'll put those capsules, and then that'll all be changeable later on. If they're not colliding the way I want them to, I can just alter the capsule so that it's working the way I do want it to. So that's why I'm very excited about that. Okay, let's make this live again. I'm just gonna save again, just in case, Quad draw time, and so yeah, so I'm not worrying about the ears. I'm gonna place this maybe here. So, and I was taught when I was, actually, this was after quite a long while after I learned quad draw, but still, when I was learning, I was taught to make the most basic shape when you're quad drawing or when you're retopologizing at all. Make the most basic shape you possibly can, and then add complexity, because it's way easier that way. Like, if I drop one big square there, and I go to my other corners of this shape here, and I drop one big square there, look how much faster I can just add geo, and then it's like, kind of where I want it to be, right? It's a lot easier and more editable that way. And it is, no, it's not perfect. No method is perfect, but it is faster. And that's what matters. In 3D art, the best solution is always the fastest one. Yay! And this is actually very true. I'm not even joking. And ironically, I do find in my art a lot of the time the things that I make quickly end up being the things that I'm happiest with. And maybe that's because whatever comes to you naturally ends up being the thing that's most beautiful, or maybe it's because I'm not worrying about getting everything perfect. I've never considered myself to be a perfectionist, but maybe in 3D art I've noticed those tendencies coming out a bit, maybe. I don't know why, but I've always found that to be a thing in my art, even before 3D art. Like, the things that I make quickly, like in big flourishes, broad strokes, like those are prettier than the things that I make with lots of planning. And that doesn't really apply to everything. Like if I'm doing a cosplay or something, no, it's not going to look pretty if I sit down and I go, I've got some random materials, I'm going to blah, and then make something crazy. Certain things require like high level execution and planning in order to end up good, but that's not true of everything. Okay, speaking of which, I don't like this. So what I'm noticing is that this is snug to the neck. Well, it's okay. It's okay. I was gonna say I don't want it to snug to the neck. I want it to fall straight down. I don't want it to fall straight down though, because then it's gonna try and snug itself up with the neck, and that's gonna look ugly. So I want it less snug, but not snug, right? Okay. So I'm not gonna totally change it. I'm just going to alter it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave live surface mode. I'm gonna turn on X-ray so I can see what I'm doing. I'm gonna grab an edge that I want to change. I'm gonna be in move mode, and I'm gonna do control middle click to drag it away from that surface and give it some breathing room. How lovely. It's so lovely. I love it. It's lovely. Absolutely wonderful. But keeping in mind that I want this geo to be where it'll collide, so like in theory I do kind of want it like snug, just not like really snug, you know? Yep. Yeah, it's a lot to think about because you really like, and this is why experience is so valuable, is because you really have to be thinking ahead at all of the other steps you have to do and how you're gonna need things to be done in the past once you get to that point. And that's why, like, the first time you're learning something, just go quickly. Just do it. Just do it quickly and learn. Get the learning over with, honestly. Get the learning over with, and so you can get to the fun part. That's, I'm sorry. I don't know if that sounds like kind of glass half empty. I don't think learning is not fun. It's not particularly fun to me, I'll be honest with you. I like to learn new things so that I can know new things. I don't genuinely enjoy the learning process as much as I enjoy the transition from unawareness to awareness. And I know that might sound really stupid, because I kind of just described learning. That's not really what I mean. Like, the process of discovery isn't the thing that gives me joy. It's the discovering. It's the knowing. It's the destination that I really enjoy when it comes to learning. Anyways, the point I'm making is do it fast and get the learning over with means that you can get to the point where you know what you're doing and you're able to execute on a high level more quickly. And that's just how I work. I like to know what I'm doing so that I can be proud of myself and know that I'm doing a good job. That's what gives me motivation and sort of like purpose, sort of thing. That's what makes me feel valuable and accomplished. So, and I mean that's a big part of learning too, is like understanding what makes you feel valuable and accomplished. Like, that's a good point too. I'm gonna add another loop right here. And so you'll notice some of these aren't very square, are they, right? What I mentioned earlier is that all of these polygons, they're going to try and act like squares. So it's my job now to try and move them around so they're as square as possible, so that when they simulate, they're not going to distort like crazy. Because if I did a piece of geo that was like, okay, if I take this edge, oopsie, if I go in edge mode and I take this edge and I delete that whole edge, this is like a delete vertices and edges attached to selection. That's the button that you're going to need to use in Maya whenever you're deleting an edge, because otherwise you're going to leave a bunch of empty vertexes or vertices, and it's going to be really ugly. I think shift delete also works, something like that. Whatever. I just have it in my custom shelf and it's really good. It's probably like an edit mesh or something. Yeah, it's right here. Anyways, if I had this mesh in Chaos Cloth and it was trying to simulate, it would stretch out because it would be trying to. It would go like this, because it'd be trying to turn all of these into squares. So what I want to do instead is have more square geo. Right? Nice. It does not have to be perfect. This is pretty close to what I want. You know what I'll do is I'll use my what is it? How do you do that again? Tool. I want to do the slide thing. Not this menu. Is it this menu? Yeah, there is a thing you can do to drag, slide, what is it called? Slide along curve, or like slide along normal or something like that. It's got the word slide in it, just trust me. Move, snap. Transform constraint. Surface. Nice. That's what I was looking for. I guess it says slide when you hover over to let you know that you have a transform constraint on. So that's what it is. So it's in the tool settings. Everything that you want is always going to be in the tool settings. Honestly, that's what I'm noticing. I was about to say in my old age. Was I seriously about to say what I'm noticing in my old age? No. No, not in my old age. I'm sorry. That would be so offensive. I feel like if I said in my old age. At 21 years old. No. In my experience. In my experience, that's something I'm noticing, is that if there's a specific thing you want, like, ooh, wouldn't this be so helpful if it existed? It probably does exist in the tool settings. It's always going to be in the tool settings. Sorry, it just is. It always is. I'm just dragging these down to make them a little more square. Not that I actually really need for vertices there. It's more just so that the faces will be more square, so that they'll hopefully fall in a nicer way. I think this is pretty good. I might want this one to be less like the way it is, but it might be okay as it is. So I think we'll leave that. I think we'll leave that. It's pretty good. And I'm just not gonna have collision on the ears. That's my plan. I'm just not gonna give the ears any reason to collide. Just not gonna let them. They will not be allowed. You need to be a little bit away from the head there. You are too snug-a-bug. I did not move you. Nor did I move any of your siblings. I'm so sorry for that. Have you guys ever heard the word nibblings before? I recently heard that and I realized, oh, that's what you call, I think it's like a made-up word, like recently. I don't think it already existed, but it's very useful. That's what you call like nieces and nephews. I was always wondering, like, you have a brother, sister, or siblings, nieces and nephews. What if you have like a shit ton of them? You don't want to be like, my nieces and nephews, Nibblings. Your nibblings are all of your nieces and nephews. I don't currently have any nibblings myself, but I hope I will one day. That'd be pretty cool. Although it makes me think of the word nibbling, like nibbling on like a snack, like a cracker or something. Nibbling with 2 B's. But this version has only 1 B. Okay, this is gorgeous and beautiful and lovely and pretty and great. Love it. Amazing. Hopefully it looks good when it's simulating. There's only one way to find out, is just by finishing it and doing it. I'm going to save. I'm going to exit isolate mode. I'm going to... Hold on, let me just make sure that... I would like this line to be a little more straight, so I'm going to go into edge mode and I'm... Nope, nope, nope. Not the whole perimeter, just you. I'm just going to straighten it. Maybe not that much, maybe just a little. I'm maybe just gonna move it over a little bit so it's just overlapping the center line. Yeah, that's good. It looks so bald from behind. This is so upsetting. Like this, it looks like Gollum if Gollum had a little more hair. Or like the back of Momo's head. Ugh, I hate Momo. The creepy like YouTube Kids horror thing from like years back. Ugh, I hate that thing. That thing scares the shit out of me. Someone was dressed as that at a Halloween event in my city, like last Halloween, obviously. Nope, was not funny to me. I just scared the shit out of me. Like it's one of those where like they see that you're afraid of it. They see that you're afraid of their costume, and so they target you directly, like, hee hee, I'm gonna be, you know, engaging to the crowd, whatever, whatever. That's their job. Great, good on you for doing your job. Not funny to me. Not fun. No, I didn't think that was cool at all. I was just like, nope, I don't like it. I don't like it. It's not. I don't like it in a fun way. I dislike it, and I really don't like it. Wait, please go away. that was the situation I was in. So yeah. Yeah, my friend I was with at the event also had one of those where, like, every time they, like, targeted her, she was just like, nope, this is scary and not in a fun way. I just literally dislike this. And we were all there because we enjoyed scary things, for the record. Like, not, like, a crazy amount. Like, we weren't, like, crazy, like, terrify me, please, make me shit my pants. But we enjoyed scary things. My one friend, she also had one person there that was dressed up as something that specifically bothered her, and it's because he was dressed up as like this monster that reminded her of her boyfriend, but like scary version. And so it's like it was this weird psychological effect where it's like a loved one of yours but fucked up, and so you're just like, ugh, like just inherently like horrified by it. That was her situation. It was very sweet. it's not, I wouldn't say it's fun to watch your friend in distress, but it is sweet knowing the reason behind it is kind of wholesome, honestly. Not wholesome as much as it is like this, yeah, the reason it's a problem is because of a wholesome thing, like, oh, she really likes her boyfriend and that's why this terrifies her. You know, I'm not sadistic. I love my friends. No, but like for real. Okay, let's see how this looks. Dude, turn off ghost mode. AKA X, right? It's actually called X, right? I just call it ghost mode because I'm weird like that. I'm kind of quirky, honestly. Don't quote me on that. Let's focus on this so that's orbiting nicely. Look at our little nun. Look at our beautiful little nun. Isn't she so pretty? What a beautiful little nun. Okay, this is going pretty well. I do need to leave the house kind of soon. I got plans today, so I will have to shut the stream off soon. But I'll see if I can at least get these into Unreal Engine quickly, like within the next 15 minutes to half an hour. What a cutie. What a little cutie. What a lovely little angel. Isn't she great? We love her. Okay, let's see. How am I gonna do this? I suppose wait, no. I want it all to be... How did I do it before? Not all one object. Oh, it'll be a blueprint. Okay, so we'd have the hair pieces be separate skeletal meshes combined in one blueprint asset, probably. I could probably do it all in one skeletal mesh, but it seems easier to me to do it all separately and combine it in a blueprint, as long as their transforms are the same. I feel like that's probably a good method. Yeah, which means I'm gonna export these all separately. Okay. So I'm gonna go into my files. I'm gonna make a new folder. I'm gonna call it exports. There we go. Yeah, that's great. Exports is probably a bad word. Meshes would probably be better. I'm not gonna worry about that right now. So let's export this. I guess we just want to export it as like an FBX, just like a regular old FBX. Hey, let's make sure all our transforms are frozen and our history is deleted. I almost forgot. Let's freeze our transforms on you. We probably don't need anything to do. Let's grab you. Let's freeze all your transforms. Let's name you. You need names. Duh. What a dumbass. Okay. Top layer left. I'm gonna maybe start with proxy. Proxy, hair top layer left. Yes. Proxy, hair top layer right. Actually, let's just... That's better. Proxy. Hair bangs. Hair bangs. Proxy. Hair bottom layer. Left. Proxy. Hair bottom layer. _ R. And you might be asking, Annie, why do you have to rewrite every name? Why don't you just copy and paste it and then change the one letter at the end? Well, because, Gerald, I like typing. Actually, genuinely, I really like typing on the keyboard. It's very fun and satisfying for me. And when I'm naming things, I'm sometimes like, if I don't have to name an exorbitant amount of things, I'm like, let me just name each of them individually. It'll be fun. I'll enjoy it. And it's true. I do enjoy it. Anyways, I'm actually writing a novella right now. Not very far in, but I might continue doing that tonight at some point. I should. Actually, I'll be home late tonight. Never mind. But I'm gonna keep writing. I'm telling you now so that I'll do it. Okay, so those are all named. Full head is a fine name, I guess. I don't really know what else to name it, honestly. So let's export selection. We don't want to do it in the Maya folder. And we don't want to do STL, we want to do FBX. I was doing a 3D print file a little while ago, which is why I have an STL. You need a plugin, actually. Fun fact, you need a plugin for STL exports in Maya. I guess just so that you don't have like too much stuff going on in the program files. But yeah, if you're ever trying to do 3D print stuff and you realize you can't print an STL, it's because you need a plugin for it. It's very easy to find. It's just in the plugins menu, I'm pretty sure. Anyways. It's gonna be a static mesh. I like to call my static meshes SM. No, it's not a static mesh, it's a skeleton mesh. Call it that. Yeah, and then when I do a different version with blend shapes and stuff later, I'll just overwrite it, and then in Unreal Engine, all I have to do is go right-click, re-import, and then it just like does it, and it's awesome, and I love it. So I'll probably be fine. Yes. And using that Unreal Engine prefix that I do there is part of why I use that. In my file folder, because I know I can just call it that in Unreal Engine and just rename it to that. 2 reasons. First of all, it's more streamlined. When I re-import an Unreal Engine, it just does it automatically. When I like drag it in, it does it automatically. It's one less step for me. Second of all, when I have that Unreal Engine prefix in my personal like file structure, I know that it's called that because it's going into Unreal Engine. Like it's ready for the engine. If it wasn't called that, I'd be like, oh, it's a mesh that I'm still working with. I'm importing it to a different file to work with, to do something with it, but it's not finished. It's not ready for the engine yet. But when I have that Unreal Engine prefix, I know it's ready to go. It's ready to go in the engine. So that's the engine version. Okay, and you are going to be SKM. I guess I'm just gonna call it the full thing. Hair top layer. I think I'm just gonna call it that whole thing, because I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna do them all separately, right? So this is gonna be a whole ass thing. I'm gonna copy the name and... Yes, sometimes I break my own rules, and I like to save work. Sue me. Just kidding. Don't. Please don't sue me. I do not have the money for litigation right now. Let me copy you. Almost there. Bow, bow, bow. That should be good. This is really exciting. We're almost there. I'm gonna export my actual grooms now, which is... Oh, it's so pretty and fluffy and curly and... I love it. Okay. So I'm gonna actually rename these. So let's group these. Group proxies. Okay, and we want to parting left, top layer left. Combine to one? Yes, combine it to one. And delete history and group. No. You don't need to be grouped, you can just be one object. Why would you be grouped? You don't need to be grouped. There you go. Just thinking. I want to call out something more specific to specify that this is in fact the hair. So like primitives, convert, like hair. Just focus on renaming. A little renaming moment. Very good. Very good. Bangs, top layer left, top layer right, bottom layer left, bottom layer right. And if you've forgotten, we have merged our partings into our... Ugh. Why do you look bald? Oh! Because there's a proxy mesh there. See? Now you don't look bald. It's okay. Everybody relax. It's fine. I got scared for a second. I was like, is that how much scalp is visible from all angles? Holy shit. No. No, that's not the scalp. That is the proxy mesh. Everything's fine. Like I was saying, we merged our partings into our top layers because we only needed them in separate descriptions so that we can make them work the way we wanted them to. But now that they look the way we want them to, they can be in one thing because they're in the same area. Okay. Let's get these things out of here. Export selection. Oh, let's make sure all of our transforms are frozen. They are, right? Yeah, everything's good. Scam. If you feel like I'm going kind of slow right now, it is because there are a lot of things going through my brain right now because I'm thinking about every other step I have to take after this in order to get this working in Unreal. I'm thinking, like, constantly about all the other things that I need to be doing just in case something I'm doing right now is going to end up being a mistake later. Another one of those things that really helps with experience. If I had more experience, there'd be less concerns like that because I would just have the confidence and the routine of it, but I haven't done this that often. I've done XGen projects a couple times, and I've done lots of Chaos Cloth physics stuff. Several different projects, like for actual games that I've completed. Like at least 3 completed games I've done have Chaos Cloth physics in them that I've made. But the process is pretty different every time based on what you're doing. So while, yes, I do have experience, it's not a huge abundance of it. It's not years or decades of experience doing the same thing over and over again. So there are still concerns that I have where I don't know if I'm making a mistake that I'm going to regret later. So if you're wondering ever like, oh, she's going so slow doing this menial task, it's because I have so many background processes going on. Like, am I doing something wrong right now? I don't know. And, you know, that's the thing you have to have patience for when you're in this field, when you're doing 3D art. You need to be ready to be wrong. You need to be ready to have tried your damnedest to set everything up right for no concerns in the future so that everything will go smoothly moving forward. After this one step, everything will be just fine. It'll all be great. You need to be ready to realize, oh, I was dead wrong and I made a big oopsie. You have to be ready for that. So that's part of it too. I believe these are all properly exported now. I will check in my little folder. Beep beep beep. You can see we've got our head, we've got our actual hair primitives here that are all exported. Bangs, bottom layer left, bottom layer right, top layer left, top layer right, and we've got our proxies for every single one of those layers. It looks like they are ready for Unreal Engine. However, I'm sorry to say, I have plans tonight, and I'll be late if I don't leave. So I'm gonna end the stream here and get very excited for when we import things into Unreal Engine tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow? Yes, tomorrow. It's gonna be so fun! Are you guys ready? I'm so excited. Okay, thanks for stopping by. And stop again tomorrow, around same time this stream started today, whatever time that was for you. Same time tomorrow, we'll be putting this Unreal Engine and doing some cloth physics. It's gonna be super cool. Alright. Bye-bye.